As if I didn't know that. Yahweh is waiting for someone to do diligence, meaning to actively care and persevere and apply through painstaking effort, even if they have to build a trench, build a moat, build a ditch, and not move until they're done with the job, done with the calling, done with the vision, and zealously, earnestly exert Yahweh's will in the earth. Do you understand that? To do diligence means you've got to actively exert Yahweh's will in the earth, because mama don't want any part of it. Daddy don't want any part of it. The people you work with would rather you be gone or dead.
It's the truth.
So you're going to have to exert Yahweh's will in the earth. Not by might or power, but by His Ruach, says Yahweh. But He'll be with you. If He birthed a thing in you, a vision, a dream, then it is only, Yahweh cannot fail. Turn to your neighbor and say, Yahweh cannot fail. If the dream and the vision does not come to pass, it is because you did not give due diligence. It's not because you didn't have ability. It's not because you didn't have giftings. You and I don't have ability. We don't have giftings. We have ability to make mess, which is why when Yahweh gives us and redeems us, we are all doctors of mess. Turn to your neighbor and say, you were a doctor of mess.
You were a doctor of mess.
What does that mean? Everything I do turns to mess. Okay? So that's what I was. That's who we was. We were doctors of mess. But Yahweh does not birth His children into the kingdom and leave them without a dream or a vision or a calling or a purpose. He's the manufacturer. This is His manual. And in order to understand His purpose, we've got to study the manual and hear His voice and get our purpose. Yahweh has not called you to live on the welfare state and survive from Thursday to Wednesday. That is not living. That's not Yahweh. You will become a ward of the state. Yahweh has put in each of us a desire to serve Him, a purpose in our lives, and it is through due diligence that Yahweh will accomplish His calling and His purpose in our lives. Okay? Yahweh cannot fail. You and I will get in Yahweh's way.
Praise Father Yahweh.
You and I will get in Yahweh. We're going to come up with all the reasons it can't be done. We're going to come up with age. We're going to come up with living circumstances. We're going to come up with financial reasons. We're going to give Yahweh all the reasons that something cannot be done. And yet, it consumes us. We're zealous for that calling. We're zealous for that vision. We're zealous for that dream. We're zealous for the things Yahweh has given us. And yet, we're not following through because we're not being diligent. Instead of giving diligence, we're giving excuses. I don't care what the excuse is. I don't care what side of the tracks you were born on. I don't even care if you were never born. Yahweh doesn't accept junk. He doesn't make junk. And if you're born again and saved and redeemed, and you're washed in the blood of the Lamb, and you're walking in the truth of the Nazarene Yisrael message, He's called you and birthed you to do something. It could be a book. It could be a magazine. It could be an internet ministry. It could be a distribution ministry for the restoration of scriptures. I don't know. Only Yahweh can put it in your heart. But due diligence means that focus is never out of your mind, it's never out of your heart. Every step you take in Yahweh is going to bring you one step closer. Okay, give you an example. Yahweh called me to plant congregations. Okay, I planted a lot of congregations in my time. Some of them through email, some of them in person, some of them, but literally hundreds around the world. Some of them I don't even know about. For instance, Honduras with Larry Gordon. I didn't know we were going to plant the congregation. All I knew is that this guy was going to sit here under my ministry and come and go, and he'd pick up and he'd learn stuff, and then one day Yahweh sent him out, and we have a congregation in Honduras. I don't know that. Okay? But the point is, every time I would go to dinner with Rivka, and we saw an empty store, those are the days before the restoration of scriptures when I actually got out of the house, I said, Rivka, that would be a perfect place for a shul. Or I drive by, Young Circle or somewhere there and go, oh, this would be perfect. There's plenty of parking. This would be a great place for a shul. Or I'd go by further down Young Circle and I'd see the band show. Oh, Rivka, We could have an outdoor Nazarene crusade here preaching Yeshua, and we could have music ministry. This would be a perfect place for an outdoor event. All right? But see, because I know who I was, I know Yahweh's calling, and I do not allow myself to be deterred to the right or to the left. And that's what we need, every one of us. We need that. We all need that. Give me some more juice too, please. I don't know what's going on here. Maybe this could be faced. Ted, can you face this more this way, please? Thank you. Just a little bit more this way. The seed of diligence. Everything that Yahweh has put in your heart can come to pass. Let's talk about this a little bit. Go with me, please, to Luke 15. Luke 15. Well, let's actually start in verse 4. One man among you, having 100 sheep, having lost one of them, does not leave the 99 in the wilderness and goes after the one which is lost until he finds it. Having found it, he lays it on his shoulders, rejoicing. Now, when we hear this, we think of Israel, right? Yahweh going out, sending Yeshua to bring in the lost sheep of the house of Israel. That's true. That's in the Peshat. But I want to take you here to the Remez. Let's look here at the Remez, okay? He leaves the 99 to look for the one until he finds it. And then, verse 5, he finds it, he lays it on his shoulders, and comes home rejoicing. What did he do? He left the 99 sheep. He kept focused. He kept entrenched. He kept strictly focused, zealous to accomplish a purpose and an undertaking. Yeshua neglected everyone and everything to find that one lost sheep. Okay? So number one, you neglect things. You neglect situations. You avoid people, places, and things that will take that will cramp you from performing diligence. Okay? Number one, Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Now look at verse 8. What woman, having 10 silver coins, 10 tribes of Israel, if she loses one coin, does not light up and sweep the entire house until she kind of finds it and goes to bed? Is that what it says?
No.
Until she diligently finds it. Meaning, this woman's not sleeping, she's not eating, she's not performing, she's not going to the theater, she's not going to the ballroom, she's not going to the bazaar, she's not going anywhere until she accomplishes, with painstaking effort, her purpose, even if she has to turn her house upside down. Amen? Some of us are not lacking a vision. We're not lacking a dream. We're not lacking a big Yahweh. We're lacking diligence. We get easily sidetracked. The phone rings, we drop everything. We get a letter from overseas, we get all discombobulated, and we drop the thing that Yahweh called us to do. He told us to do. He told us to start a ministry. He told us to be obedient to B'nai Yeshua. He told us to cut a CD. He told us to follow this through, and the phone rings, and the mail comes, and the weather changes, and we're so easily distracted. We don't follow through, and we don't do diligence. Our daughter got in trouble, and now we're punished. Now our whole life is dedicated to taking care of our daughter or our son. And you're a mother all over again when they should have been out of the house 40 years ago. If you're still taking care of your children and they're in their 40s, you are not doing diligence to the calling that Yahweh has put in your life. Matthew 6:33 says, seek the kingdom of Yahweh first and his righteousness, and he'll take care of your sons and your daughters and your pets and your lambs and your goats and your elephants.
Yahweh.
We'll say, no, Yahweh, you don't understand. I'm the only one that can help this brother. Fool. That's a foolish attitude. Now you're Yahweh. You're the only one that can help that person. So you're going to drop everything Yahweh has put in your heart, everything you could pursue, everything and get sidetracked because you feel sorry for the person, or you're the only person that can help that person. We need to have the attitude of the woman who dropped. She was willing to turn her house upside down until she found that one missing coin. Because she knew that was her destiny, that was her goal, that was given to her by Yahweh to find that one missing coin. Do you understand? And you've given up. Some of you have given up doing due diligence. Why? Because someone is not doing the right thing. Someone's not responding the way they should respond. So what are you going to do? Are you entrenched? Are you in a ditch? Are you immovable, unshakable? They're not selling me that car. They're supposed to sell me the car. They're not selling me the car. They're supposed to sell me the house. Okay? They're not selling me the house. Okay, so give up. Go get depressed. Start eating. Start binging. Start taking drugs. Stop looking for work. Because we're not doing diligence. If you do not set your affections on things of the earth, but on things above, where Mashiach is seated at the right hand of Yahweh.
Hallelujah.
Yahweh will never tell you, stop what you're doing until you get a job. Yahweh will never tell you, stop what you're doing until you get a car.
That's right.
Yahweh will never tell you to put aside kingdom things to pursue temporal things.
True.
When you serve Yahweh without a car, you'll get 2 cars. When you serve Yahweh without money, you'll have money shaken over, pressed over, overflowing, you'll have in your bosom. Serving Yahweh first. If you're giving up His vision, if you're not being diligent to inherit the calling and the vision He's given you, you are fodder to get easily sidetracked. Okay? Again, I found out it's not my ability. I don't care how much Hebrew you have. You have to have Yahweh's chesed to be able to sit for 8 months and follow through on a project. That no matter how smart I am or how intellectual I am, is bogus and bananas in Yahweh's eyes. You still need chesed to have the fortitude to follow through. It's not a joke. That kind of thing, doing Yahweh's will in the immediate level, in the immediacy of the moment. Are you with me? Could endanger your marriage. It could endanger your life. It could endanger your health. But so what? You don't have any rights. You told Yahweh that you're bought with a price, you're going to give it all to Him. What are you holding on to? Your last $500? You're worried about the bank is going to close the account? If Yahweh closes your account, it doesn't matter what the bank does. How's that sound? How about if Yahweh closes the account on your life? What good is the first savings and loan going to do then?
Come on.
Know somebody.
So Yahweh knows all the reasons you can't. So through the restoration scriptures, what Yahweh showed me was that He was blessing me with rachamim and chesed to give me the gift of due diligence. I was going to turn the world and the house upside down. I'm looking for a coin. I'm looking for that coin. Get the hell out of my way. Because I've heard from Yahweh, you don't want to get in my way.
Oh, yeah.
Seek first the kingdom of Yahweh and His righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. We are not to be caretakers of adult children. We are not to be caretakers of automobiles that are not ours to fix. We are not to be caretakers and fixers of everybody else's problems, because you cannot function. There comes a point when Yeshua sent the 12 out and sent out the 70. He said, I'm going to pray. I can't give you any more. Goodbye. Go do the ministry. Diligence. Any excuse is a good excuse, is no excuse. Now look at this, getting back to Luke 15:8. In other words, if my wife is depending on me to vicariously make sure everything is okay spiritually, she's out of her mind. She's got to have her own diligence. She's got to have her own vision, her own calling. It's got to complement mine, yes. But Yahweh has made us He's made us one. He hasn't made us the same. One is not sameness. Oneness and sameness is not the same thing. You will never accomplish anything for Yahweh until you follow through on that first thing He put in your heart 10 years ago. Then He'll trust you with a new vision. And then He'll trust you with a new understanding. And then He'll trust you with a new ministry. And then He'll trust you with a new breakthrough. But He's still waiting for you to act on the vision and the understanding and the revelation that He gave you 4 years ago, and you're sitting on it like you're sitting on a pot. And they say, well, nothing's happening with the Lord. No, He's not. He's waiting for you to get off the pot and act on the vision that's been in hibernation for about 6 years. Well, you don't understand, Rabbi, I have bad health. My health is failing. Really? Really? Bob Shaul was blind. What's your problem? He traveled the world and he couldn't see a thing. Because he was doing diligence. He was not going to be swayed. I'll deal with you. I'll be friends with you. I will associate with you. I will work here. I will function here as long as this doesn't get in the way of the vision and the purpose Yahweh has given me. If you or your job or your automobile or your marriage or your family get in my way, you're going to either follow me or whatever. I'm going straight through, and I'm going to obey Yahweh to do what He told me to do, when He told me to do it, how He told me to do it. You've got two choices. You can either follow or get out of the way.
Yeah. Come on now.
You take the vision that Yahweh has given you, and you will run with it. You've got to make sure that the vision comes from Yahweh. Okay? Baruch Hashem Yahweh.
Praise Father Yahweh.
You got to hear Yahweh's voice, brother. You hear Yahweh's voice, He tells you what to do, and you follow through on what He's told you to do. Okay? Not about thinking or heart. Yahweh, you got to put in your heart. And Yahweh is looking for laborers. And so if you don't have a vision to be diligent over, to do His will, then don't sing another song. Don't take another step. Don't read another chapter in the Bible. Say, Yahweh, why am I on this earth? What have you put me here for? What is my purpose? To live off somebody else? To be a burden to somebody else? To be single? To be married? I mean, what am I doing here? The seed of diligence. Again, the Hebrew word is charutz. To make a strict decision. To have strict and continuous focus. Go with me to Mishlei, please. 10. Mishlei 10:4. And I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot. See, and the thing is, if you and I want to be used for the kingdom, we're going to have to learn how to be diligent. Hello? We're going to have to learn how to be diligent. Verse 4, Mishlei, Proverbs 10:4. Poor is he who works with a lazy hand, but the hand of the hard worker or the diligent makes rich. Okay? Let's read that again. The poor is he who works with a lazy hand, but the hand of the hard worker makes rich. Or the hard worker in King James is the diligent. Hello? The diligent works hard at Yahweh's calling. Regardless of pain, regardless of encumbrance, regardless of obstacles. We're all working hard for somebody or something. So you might as well work hard for the vision and the purpose that Yahweh has put you here on the earth. To restore the two houses of Israel. To preach the blood of Yeshua. To introduce believers to the true name. Whatever He's done. See, and that's why our brother, he didn't mind buying 10 restoration of scriptures. Why? Because he wanted to follow through on what Yahweh has showed him to do. reach pastors, reach leaders. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Mishlei 12:24. So that the diligent makes rich, spiritually as well as possibly physically, if that's the way Yahweh chooses to bless you. Amen?
Amen.
Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Mishlei 12 and 24. Mishlei 12 and 24. A clever man, the hand of the diligent rules, but the lazy is put to compulsory or slave labor. What's so funny?
All of us.
Huh?
Compulsory.
This proverb was funny? Convicting. Oh, okay. The hand of the diligent worker rules. So it's not how talented or how gifted one is, it's how diligent will determine whether you rule, whether you're the head or the tail in Yahweh's work. Diligent. Diligent. You don't just listen to the word, you listen and do the word. Man, who is the blessed one? The one who hears and does the word. And then does diligence until that coin is found, even if you've got to turn the house upside down and move all the furniture and change all the blinds and get in people's way and upset their religious apple cart. You've got to act on that vision, on the thing Yahweh has put in your heart. Okay? Mishlei 12:24. The hand of the diligent rules. The lazy is put to compulsory labor. Hard work at Yahweh's calling. Not hard work at keeping the flow, keeping the ship afloat. Not hard work and making sure that this is that and this and he's this and she's that. Hard work in the calling that Yahweh has given you. Okay? That's where you work hard. Not in the field of your own choice, but the field that Yahweh has put in your heart. If I worked hard at something that I'm not called to do, I'm going to have FS results. 0. If I do your calling and I work very hard at your calling, I'll have 0 results. I got to work hard at my calling, and I will be a ruler among 50s and 10s and hundreds in Israel. And that was a word today. I believe it was through my brother. That was a word today. Yahweh is looking to raise up leaders and rulers, not ruling but servant rulers. Hello? Not despotic rulership, but servant leadership, servant rulership to those who are showing themselves not talented but diligent. The greatest gift you could have in the kingdom, one of the greatest gifts you could have, is being diligent, working hard on the right things that Yahweh has put in your heart. The right things. Meaning you don't get to choose your reason for living. He does. What a mean Yahweh. What a mean Yahweh. You don't get to choose how long you stay at your vocation. He does. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Mishlei 12:27. The lazy one has no game to roast, but the diligent prizes his possessions. The diligent prizes his possessions. What does that mean? When you're diligent over the things of Yahweh, notice, you will value those things that he has done through you. You'll value the possessions and the things that he has done in birth through you. But the lazy one has nothing to show for his efforts. Hello? Nothing to show for it. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Hard work is not the answer. Working hard at the vision and the purpose that Yahweh has called you to. That can overcome the bad back. That could overcome bad vision. That could overcome mental discombobulation. diligence will overcome all these physical and emotional areas. Are you with me? When we're diligent to do Yahweh's will, He'll send you the husband. When you're diligent to do Yahweh's will, He'll send you the wife. But when you're not diligent to do His will, and you don't follow through on it, because it's not the perfect time, then you won't have His possessions. Yahweh said Abraham was very wealthy. Isaac was very wealthy. Yaakov was very wealthy. We've got this poverty mentality. Everyone who was a Hebrew was well off. Solomon and Shlomo was well off. David was well off, but unlike what Sunday teachers name and claim it, grab it, grab it, they got rich by keeping Torah and being diligent. Abraham was diligent. How so? He said, I'm getting out of Ur of Chaldees and nothing can keep me here. Not my daddy, not my mama, not my house idols, or anything in the Chaldees can keep me here. I'm going to do due diligence to get out. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. But if you do diligence, look at verse 27, and you work hard at Yahweh's call,